Don't do acid when you're homeless. When I left the trap because I thought my friend was going to beat me up while I was on drugs, which was, by the way, all in my head, I left the trap the next day and my aunt wouldn't take me back. So I went to the shelter for 2 months in August 2023. Over there, I met a kid who looks like me, except he does like even harder drugs than me. And he's been homeless way longer than me. I gave him lemonade prime one day, and he thought it was the best thing he's ever drank in his entire life. It was pretty funny. On that same day, my dad made a scene on the bus. I don't remember what it was about, but he just started screaming. I was pretending I didn't know him. He was like, "That's my son! That's my son!" And he was like harassing everyone on the bus. So the bus driver eventually kicked him out. But for some reason he gave me like $10 before I headed off the bus. I don't think the bus driver even kicked him off, even though he we heard he was going to, because he was even harassing the bus driver. But yeah, on that same day I had the Sonic ice cream and it was pretty good. I'm a big fan of Song Song. If you don't know what that is, that's my term for ice cream. So ice cream is pretty good when it comes to mascots and characters like the SpongeBob, the Minion, the Sonic, the Spider-Man. It goes on, but SpongeBob's probably the best one. But yeah, while I was homeless, I was outside a lot because the shelter closed until like 1 p.m. from 11 to 1 p.m. So I had to be outside. So one day, I left Burger King because I had a pretty bad day there. Cut all my friends off and did acid and Molly all in the same day. Everyone at the shelter was basically trip-sitting me for some reason. But I got paranoid because I brought drugs into the shelter. And I left the shelter. And I almost got jumped. Some lady on a bike drove right up to me, stopped, almost crashed into me. And they were just riding around me. There was 2 people on bikes. I don't remember what they were saying. It wasn't anything nice, but it wasn't anything mean. I don't remember what they said. And I thought I was getting jumped. So I called the cops, and eventually they left. So the cops arrived, they put me back in the shelter, and that was basically it. They knew I was on acid too, but eventually my other aunt accepted me into her home. Only rule is I don't do drugs, which was pretty easy, because acid was the last drug I've ever done, and it fucking sucks. I thought people were like following me. I thought I was getting jumped. I probably was. But I thought I was getting jumped. It felt like people were popping up out of nowhere and were out to get me. It was like a horrible experience. It was probably psychosis because ever since I started doing drugs, I've been really, really prone to psychosis, even on weed. Because I experienced psychosis less than a year before on weed. And yeah, acid fucking sucks. I don't think I'll be doing it ever again, and I hope I don't go homeless ever again. But yeah, since I've been living with my aunt, things have been much better. I've never been in a more stable home. I've never been yelled at, and I don't even do anything around the house. So I'm living a pretty good life right now, pretty stable life. I've been stable ever since I went to the psych ward and they gave me new meds, and I've been on those meds ever since. I was in the psych ward in September, and yeah, after I stopped doing drugs, I was finally able to support my music. I was able to work on my music again, because at that point I haven't worked on my music since like February or something. I haven't made a new song since February until like November, and all I did for my music while in the trap, this was right before I went into the trap, but I released my albums on YouTube. And that was basically it for almost a year. Probably like 6 months, actually, not a year. Because I started making music again in November. I was still making beats even in the trap, but those beats sucked ass. Like, I was on drugs when I made them, and they all just really sucked. On the day when I thought my friend was gonna beat me up, I accidentally opened up a really loud snare on my FL Studio, and it scared the shit out of me because I was already paranoid and scared, but that scared the fucking shit out of me, that loud ass snare. And I just looked at my friend, my other friend, who was also living there and doing drugs. I just looked at him. I stared at him, and he just left me alone, even though he did nothing wrong. Hell, not even my other friend, who I thought was gonna beat me up, did anything wrong. He was just punching things in the garage, I think, from what I've heard from outside of the garage, which was inside the house, because we do all our drugs inside the house. And yeah, that Tinder girl, one time when I was on coke, like, she just like really disliked me for some reason. I was on coke, and when I went inside, I was just chilling, and I was in the downstairs living room. That's where my computer is. And she was talking to my friend. It was like, he's so quiet, because I was on coke, and I guess people can't be calm when they're on coke. So yeah, I guess she couldn't comprehend that, and I left her surprised for a second there. If I was on coke and I didn't go crazy, then I probably have something going for me, I guess. Some sort of resilience, some sort of calmness. Whenever I'm around girls, I just get really calm, and I guess they share that with me. So I think that's a good thing to come out of my interactions with girls. We're just really calm. Nothing bad, nothing crazy, just really calm. I guess that's nice.